Staple showed off its new look today. The Bangor Historical Society cut the ribbon this morning, debuting its restored granite wall and new fencing. Board members, city officials, and community members celebrated the new addition. 106 years ago, local legend says the original fence was melted down for metal to support World War I war efforts. The new fence, which cost $80,000, was mostly supported by the city of Bangor, providing a $60,000 grant. The rest was raised through donations. Celebrating the Historical Society's 160th birthday, they say the restoration was not only necessary, it also improves Bangor's cultural tourism.
The bottom granite retaining wall had been creeping into the public sidewalk, creating a little bit of an unsafe situation. So we wanted to right that. And for many years, we've just wanted to have this fence come back. It's a lot of great curb appeal.
One of the reasons that people visit places is because of this historic architecture and the historic integrity of the community. So keeping these buildings and restoring these buildings is part of the economic development of any community.
If you'd like to pay a visit to the Historical Society, they are hosting an exhibit celebrating 160 years. The Bangor Historical Society is set to close October 30th and will reopen in December.